Hello grade 12s, I'm now doing task 11.23 in your textbook. This is on for AMA stores. We are provided with information relating to AMA stores. In part A, we have to indicate whether the following information is true or false. Now this is very common in exams, true and false questions on the bank reconciliation or any other reconciliations. And it's obviously very easy to get the marks and also easy to lose the marks. We need to be really careful. A. Subs fees and interest and overdraft shown on the bank statement should be recorded as bank charges in the CPJ. Okay, that's actually false. Okay, and the reason it's false, okay, although the question is not asking for reasons, I'm just going to give it to you so that you can understand it for other questions. The reason it's false is because interest and overdraft must always be shown separately. Right? So interest and overdraft B. A credit balance on the bank statement reflects a favorable bank balance, and that is true. Okay, because remember, a credit balance in our books represents an overdraft, but in the bank's books, okay, it represents a favorable balance. The reason is, if we have a favorable balance in the bank's books, we are actually a liability to them. Okay, and if we have an unfavorable balance, it means it's a credit balance in our books, but in their books it's a debit balance because our business will then be an asset to them. Okay, then C, a post-dated check received by AMA stores in September but dated 25th October will only be recorded in the CRJ on 25th October 20.9. Okay, and that is true. Okay, I'm just going to give you a note on this. Okay, post-dated checks received will only be recorded and deposited on the due date. Okay, so post-dated checks which we receive, we do nothing with them. We do not record them in the CRJ. We do not deposit them in the bank. We keep them in the post-dated checks register and only deposit it and record it on the date they fall due. D. A post-dated check issued by AMA stores in September 20.9 but dated 25th October 20.9 will only be entered in the CPJ of AMA stores on 25th October 20.9. And that is false. Okay, the reason is that a post-dated check which is issued. Okay, so remember, C was post-dated checks received, and this is now a post-dated check which is issued. So post-dated checks issued will be recorded in the CPJ on the date of issue. Okay, and will appear outstanding on the bank refund. Until the due date when it is deposited by the payee. Okay. Another note here is that I just want you to that it must also, okay, they are also reversed at your end. Sorry. Okay, they must be reversed at your end. Okay, now the reason post-dated checks are reversed at year end is because of the GAAP concept prudence, which means states that assets must not be overstated and liabilities must not be understated. So at year end, any processed checks which are in issue, the journal entry is debit bank and creditors control. We have done this in the financial statement section, so I'm just refreshing your memory on it. Okay, then E, the internal auditor of AMA stores will inspect the bank reconciliation statement at the end of each month. Okay, so that's true. Okay, the internal auditor must inspect the bank reconciliation in order to prevent and detect fraud. F, a bank reconciliation statement should be prepared every month to assist in maintaining internal control of the cash of the business. That is true. It can also be prepared more than once a month in bigger businesses. Okay, now in part B, we have to do some calculations and answer some questions. Okay, so we've been given some balances, and in A, we have to calculate the correct bank balance in the ledger, similar to how we did in task 11.22. And in B, we have to prepare the bank reconciliation statement, so we're going to do that together. Okay, so if you look at the information, we have some balances in the books of AMA stores in September. The balance on the bank account in the general ledger is 53,000 favorable. So 53,000 in no brackets because it's a favorable balance. Okay. Okay, and when we're doing a calculation, we must remember that when we receive money, no brackets, and when we pay out money, obviously it will be in brackets. And in the next bit of information, the balance according to the bank statement on 30th September is 11,800 favorable. Okay, so 11,800 favorable. Favorable in our books means a debit balance, but in the bank's books it means a credit balance. So 11,800 in the credit column, balance per bank statement. Remember, you can fill in our details here: credit outstanding deposit and debit outstanding checks. Okay, then after comparing the September 20.9 cash journal, CRJ and CPJ, and the bank statement of AMA stores, the following differences were noted by the bookkeeper. Bank charges on bank statement but not in journal, 815. Okay, we're going to subtract that in our calculation because bank charges is obviously a payment that the business has to make to the bank. A deposit dated 3rd September 20.9, not reflected on the bank statement. Okay, so this deposit, okay, will be an outstanding deposit, okay, 47,200. Okay, then the third one, a deposit dated 29th September, not reflected on the bank statement, of 4,200. So I'm also going to list it as an outstanding deposit, which is why I inserted the line. We can say again, so this question has two outstanding deposits. Okay, that can happen. Okay, then number 4, a check previously received from a debtor on 12 September and recorded in the CRJ on this date now shown as an RD check on the September 20.9 bank statement. Okay, RD checks we have to record in the CPJ, and so that will decrease our bank balance. Okay, so in brackets 9,800. Okay, then number 5, check number 543 dated 5th March 20.9, still not reflected on the bank statement. Okay, so check number 543 dated 5th March. We are now in the month of September. Okay, so if you count the number of months from March to September, okay, it is 6 months or older, so the check must be cancelled. Okay, so we're going to cancel this check. Now, when the check was issued, it was issued from the CPJ. When it's cancelled in the CRJ. So we're going to add it on to the bank balance. Remember, CRJ transactions are plus and CPJ transactions will be minus. I'll just make that note for you here. Okay, in my case, I'm putting it in brackets. Huh? Okay, then number 6, check number 980, dated 22nd September, not reflected on the bank statement. Okay, so it's not a procedure check or anything. It's just a check that was not yet deposited by the payee. So we're just going to list it as an outstanding check here. Okay, so this is check number 980 for 4,700. Then check number 991 dated 25th October, not reflected on the bank statement. Now, even though this check is post-dated for October, we still record it as an outstanding check until the date comes, so 14,250. Okay, then number 8, a debit order reflected on the bank statement but not in the journal. A debit order is a payment, so we need to record it in the CPJ. So we will adjust our bank calculation for it. Because it's a CPJ transaction, I'm going to put it in brackets 385. Okay, so that's all that's left. All that we have to do now is calculate the total here for our bank calculation. Okay, 44,250. Because the answer is positive, it means it's favorable. Because it's favorable, it means it's a debit balance. We're going to put it in the debit column, 44,250. And I'm going to say debit balance per bank account. Okay. Okay, and I've already totaled it up, so you can see now that my totals are working out to 63,200. So that means that our bank refund is balanced. So let's look at the question then. Okay, and see. We find an outstanding deposit of 47,200 dated 3rd September 2049. Explain why the internal auditor should be concerned about this deposit. State 3 different points in your answer. So this is the outstanding deposit here of 47,200. Okay, the reason you should be concerned is that it's outstanding from the previous month. Remember, when checks are deposited or when money is deposited at the bank, it should only take 7 working days to clear. So if it was deposited on 3rd September, by 30th of September, it should have definitely been reflecting on the bank statement. And the fact that it's not reflecting is a cause for concern. It probably indicates that fraud has taken place. Okay, so let's just see how we're going to answer that, right? Remember, you have to state 3 different points in your answer. So the deposit is overdue and should have been reflected on the bank statement within a day, okay, or at least within the 7 days, right? Let's say within 7 days. Deposits do take a few working days to clear, especially if they're made on a Friday or a weekend or before public holidays, etc. Okay, 47,200 is outstanding for such a long time could indicate that the depositing is not happening and that the person who should be depositing this money is rolling cash or committing fraud. Okay, then 47,200 appears to be missing and will obviously have an effect on the cash flow and liquidity of the business. Okay, because this amount probably has to be written off and will then decrease the bank balance significantly. Okay, otherwise, or possibly an error has been made by the bank. The bank has deposited this amount into the wrong account, in which case we'd have to take it up with the bank. Okay, there is certainly a cause for concern about how well the cash is being controlled, and the internal control system must be reviewed and adjusted if necessary. Okay, so that's a way in which you can answer a question like this. Obviously, you don't have to take it into so much of detail. In any exams, you can always see how many marks are allocated to this type of question. Okay, that's all for this one.